Hey guys, Keith here. Here to do an exciting video where I talk about the latest distribution that everyone is putting on the top of their tier lists. People are really singing the praise for CachyOS. So what is CachyOS? Well, CachyOS, like it says right on their website, is a performance-first Linux built on Arch. So for those of you folks who don't know, Arch is another distribution, Linux distribution, that's designed so out of the box, there, you just get the basic Linux kernel and some tooling, and that's it. You know, it's a very lean, very small distribution that is, lacking a lot of things that your average desktop user may use. But it's a great base to build upon and get sort of the ultimate lean sort of experience that just you need and want. Um, and makes it always a great base for projects like CachyOS, where you can take that sort of foundation and build upon it and create sort of really awesome desktops and streamlined experiences for people. So CachyOS is a distribution that aims to be very optimized. They've gone and compiled every single package specifically with parameters that are designed to make the resulting program faster, slimmer, and just ultimately run better on your hardware. They've even tweaked the kernel scheduler, and just they've done a lot of things sort of behind the scenes to give you a responsive, quick, fast environment. And I'm excited to give this a shot. A lot of talks about this. I mean, you could see here what they talk about, that they've optimized everything. They have a graphical installer as well as a command line installer. One really cool thing that they actually do is from the installer is where you select your desktop environment. So makes a lot of sense. A lot of distributions, Linux distributions, Fedora, Ubuntu. If you want Ubuntu with KDE, you download Kubuntu. And the same thing with like Fedora. If you want Fedora with KDE, you download the specific Fedora spin. And what CachyOS does actually makes a lot more sense, where during the installer, you select what desktop environment you want, and then it installs it for you. It makes a lot more sense. Instead of having a dedicated image that you have to download, you just select it during the install process. And I did go through the install process here. It's pretty boring, but it works great. This distribution has a fantastic installer. It just asks you a little pop-up. You ask her, it asks you a bunch of basic questions. You answer them, and then boom, it's installed. Really straightforward, simple. Took 15 minutes, and that was with me toying around to just get from installer to desktop. Very good experience, and I'm actually very impressed with what these people over at CachyOS have done as far as creating a streamlined Linux experience. And I definitely recommend it. They've got great sponsors. Framework's a fantastic company. Check out their laptop, guys. They make really good products. Yeah, and I went to go to the download section. And one really cool thing is they give you a desktop edition that you could install, but they also have a handheld environment for you folks out there that use the ROG Ally, Steam Deck, etc. It's really explosion we've seen of Linux distributions specifically targeting devices like the Steam Deck. I have one, and it's just a really cool thing to have, Linux really be available everywhere nowadays. It's really cool that you can just get Steam Deck is so open where it's pretty easy to just flash your own distribution on there and get that going. So I've installed CachyOS here. Enough talk. Let's take a look at it. So just kind of give you guys a quick understanding here of something. So this is installed inside a virtual environment, and I've specifically giving it very lean resources. So let me kind of hide my webcam here. I went in, there's a lot of people that use Linux on sort of dated hardware. So I have made the decision that when I installed this distribution, I specifically went with sort of limited resources just to see how it would work. in an environment like that. So I only gave it, 4 cores of CPU, and then 4 gigs of RAM, and 50 gigs of install space. And keep in mind this is running on a virtual machine. Not my desktop, but actually another machine I have, my NAS, and I'm remoted in through through VNC. So this isn't going to be the most responsive experience just based on that, but all things considered, this is a pretty responsive desktop environment given those setbacks here, what it's got going against it. So we're going to go ahead and log in here. I did go for KDE. Guys, over the years I've used a lot of desktop environments, and there's a lot more that I've been out of the loop on. People, I used to be a big tiling window manager guy. I used to use i3 a lot, and then of course when Wayland took over, I switched to Sway. And over the years, I've just decided to just go with kind of a Sane default here, and just KDE is kind of where I live now. I used GNOME for a while. I have mixed feelings about GNOME, but really not going to get into that with this video. That's kind of out of the scope here. But if you guys are looking for just a good, solid, a familiar desktop experience, maybe you come from Windows, or maybe just come from kind of a more streamlined desktop environment, then KDE is, I think, the way to go nowadays, because KDE is so responsive, and they've done just a really good job at creating a good, solid foundation for desktop here. So this is CachyOS. This is the KDE environment. Like I said, they do a really good job of installing everything for you. So you have a lot of fantastic pre-installed packages here. You have this little widget here you can click, and it runs the update manager for you. So with a click of a button, you can see sort of what needs to be installed here, and then it gives you a simple prompt, yes or no. We're just going to click no here, just so, because I don't feel like downloading all that stuff right now. And that's just a really cool addition there. So it lets you know, hey, you got updates. You click here. It's not like Windows, you get this big, huge pop-up, and freezes your whole computer on reboot, and then you just have to sit and wait for 30 minutes for it to be stuck on 67% before it jumps to 99. So that's the Windows experience nowadays, and I've seen people sort of mass migrating or wishing to migrate from Windows 11 to Linux. Everybody's talking about it nowadays, where it just seems like Windows 11, a lot of people are not happy with it. And that's to be expected, especially with them pushing AI and everything now. And a bad AI at that. It's not even good at what it does. So a lot of people are kind of looking for alternatives. And I think this is a fantastic distribution to get your feet wet. If you're interested in that and you're not like a super technical Linux user, I think this is a great way to stay on the cutting edge software, but still have a really good base system. A lot of the defaults in here are super sane. Right out of the bat, you get kind of a dark UI, which is great. And everything looks great. You have Noto Sans fonts installed, so things like emojis and stuff will work. If you're using Discord, you need stuff like that. That's there. They give you Alacrity as a terminal emulator here. They have their own fetch program that runs at the start. They give you the fish shell. You also have Z, SH, and a bash, of course. You have these nice little icons that pop up here when you're using the terminal emulator. So far, everything in this distribution, again, given the fact that I have given this distribution very limited resources, and this is running over the network, this is a remote desktop type situation, it is very responsive. And I really don't have any complaints here about Cachy at all. I think this is, again, just a fantastic distribution for getting your feet wet. And really the power in this distribution is that it's just within 15 minutes, boom, you're ready. You go into a just fantastic desktop environment, whatever desktop environment you want to choose. It supports Hyperland, GNOME, Sway, whatever choices, whatever kind of rabbit hole you want to go down. And the KDE environment gives you all, of course, the KDE applications and everything that you would want. You have Micro installed by default, very interesting choice. MPV, fantastic media player. You have a kind of diff viewer here with Meld. Vim, of course, the best text editor. And there is just a lot of just really fantastic sort of defaults here, but it's not a heavy system. You know, they give you sane defaults. They give you what you need to pretty much do anything. That sort of like, you know, you get obviously you get Firefox for your web viewing. You get all your video editors, video viewers, media players. And you just get really what you need and nothing really else. So they've done a really good job of being very selective about what packages they put on here just to give you a good out of the box experience, and not be too heavy. And I think this is also a great option. Cachy is a great option just for even just regular Arch users because it's not super heavy. You know, you select what desktop environment you want, and then they don't load you up. You know, they give you just what you need and what would be expected out of that environment, and then they kind of just let you go from there. And the fact that they've gone in and you know, recompiled all the packages and optimized this to be snappy, responsive, and quick, this is just a great option here, folks, for Linux. This is a great way to get into it. And I'm just kind of opening Firefox here and looking at the news. Terrible idea. Never read the news, folks. Let's click away from that. Oh goodness, and I'm back in. Oh no. Yeah, let's go to Reddit. Everybody's favorite. Oh no. Oh no, Reddit's blocked. Oh no. What if we go to Amazon? What can we buy? Let's buy something on Amazon. Let me see here. Let's just click buttons and start buying. Oh yeah, let's buy some stuff. But yeah, like I said, you know, even though I've given this system very limited resources, it's still very super responsive, and this is definitely a good option for folks that are looking to get into Linux, want to get their feet wet, want to be on the cutting edge, and just not have to sink a lot of time into customizing things. You can see here, this is btop. This was included in the default install, and this is just a resource monitoring system that runs in the terminal. You can see here that I've only given the system about 4 gigabytes of RAM. So I've intentionally left it pretty light on RAM. The system idles at about 1.5 gigs, which is to be expected for the KDE desktop environment. Obviously, if we put a more lightweight desktop environment on here, you know, it'd probably be half or less than that RAM usage. Like if we were running like Sway or something, it'd be, you know, significantly less. And I've only given it, you know, pass through here, CPU, and everything's just really responsive, quick, snappy, even though we're inside a remote desktop environment. You know, things load super fast. I actually noticed I was kind of messing around here earlier after I installed it, and the KDE text editor here, I mean, look at that. It is just instantaneous. KDE has done a really good job with their applications here. I mean, just you click it, and it just, boom, loads instantly like that. Crazy how fast that is. And this is another thing I got to do a video on, the Kate editor from KDE. If you guys want a lighter VS Code, this is the answer. I mean, you get all the features you need. You get, you know, source control integration, and I will talk about this in another video. You know, you get LSP clients and stuff, and this is a really good option for you folks out there that want, you know, VS Code, but lighter, more responsive, more snappy. Doesn't have all the plugins that VS Code has, obviously, but this is a fantastic code editor. Now, of course, if I'm in the terminal, we got to use Vim. So shout out to Vim here. Let's see if I can still remember how to exit it. All right. Oop. Apparently not. There we go. All right. So awesome there. So you get everything you really need out of the box. They even give you micro, which is like, I always call micro, it's like nano on steroids. They give you like a MPV front end here with Haruna, which is just like a really simple basic media player. You can open the URL and just type in, you know, if you download YouTube DLP or YouTube DL, you can watch YouTube videos straight inside this media player, so you don't got to use a browser, but also supports more than just YouTube. Tons of different sites there. So yeah, just really awesome distribution, super lightweight from the get-go, gives you what you need to get up and go, and then doesn't get in your way, doesn't have tons of bloat. Yeah, so this is a fantastic option. I could see why people talk about this distribution a lot, and I could definitely recommend it. So yeah, that's going to be all for today, guys. You know, there's not a whole lot going on with this distribution on the surface, which is a great thing. You want something that's simple, installs, works, and that's it. Um, and that's what this distribution is. It doesn't get in your way, which is a relief. You know, a lot of distributions, you install it, and you've got all these different things that get loaded on there, tons of applications you'll never use, and then you just got to go through and delete and delete. This application, you know, the set applications you get on here are very sane, very smart default things to include, things you would actually use, and it just doesn't get in your way. You know, if you want to, you know, this is a great sort of stop, you know, point to go from to adding your own stuff. You know, obviously put Steam, Discord, etc. on, and then just start loading up with applications you actually want. And you know, this being Arch based, you get access to the Arch user repository, which is an amazing repository of packaged software that you can get. Pretty much everything's on there. I'm gonna make the bold claim here and say that everything you could possibly need is in the AUR. So it doesn't matter, you know, what you're looking for. Arch user repository, getting slammed with AI right from the search there. But yeah, just whatever you need here. There's just a ton of resources and packages. And of course, being Arch based, you have the fantastic Arch Wiki. So if you ever need to learn anything, this is a great resource to have, guys. So yeah, CachyOS, fantastic distribution. CachyOS actually has their own wiki as well. So you can click here. And they have some great write-ups and some great guides on, you know, they walk you through the installation process, and they talk about sort of the changes they've made in great detail. They've really thought this out, and they've done a lot of steps to try to optimize this and get this to being as smooth and headache-free of an install as possible, and really give you guys, you know, a fantastic distribution right from the get-go. They really try to put, you know, ButterFS as the, you know, they choose it as the default file system for the installer. And, you know, ButterFS has really taken off just because of its amazing snapshot feature, where it's kind of like, you know, Windows, where it's like you can make snapshots and stuff of the system, and then, you know, if something breaks or something happens, you can very easily turn back a little bit and get back to a working functional system. And they just have a lot of good tutorials here, good guides for whatever you need to know. So yeah, guys, I mean, I mean, let me know what you folks think of CachyOS down in the comments. I mean, they do a lot of really good stuff here. They've even got memes in their documentation. That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, a lot of great stuff. They even have this little installer here, you know, where it actually makes it where you can do a lot of things from the get-go. So I'm going to just type in hello here and see if I can get the hello. Normally this pops up. I disabled it because, you know, I don't need this. But this is a great option for people. Normally this launches at start, and you can click a button down here and you get a graphical installer for the packages. So you can click repo over here, and, you know, you can look at everything in the standard, you know, Arch mirrors, and then you have manage popular applications. So you can just kind of, you know, install stuff that is popular, again, like Discord, Telegram, NeoChat, etc. Web browsers, they give you a bunch of different options here. And then this hello, you know, pop up here. You can also click apps and tweaks, system update. So you can do a bunch of stuff from here. Install gaming packages, so you can install, we're not going to do that, but you can install a bunch of gaming packages and everything here, and you can kind of enable some tweaks for some even more fine-tuned tweaking there. Rank mirrors, this is something you're probably going to want to run every now and again, so that way your mirrors stay up to date and things are good and responsive. Is it not? Is that not the password? Okay, apparently I can't type stuff. So it's great that they actually give you a way to rank mirrors directly through an application here. That's actually really, really cool there. So yeah, really awesome stuff here. You've got a kernel manager. I mean, you can choose which kernel you want to run. So you can run their CachyOS kernel, but hey, you also got different kernels optimized for different things. You have a hardened kernel here that's sort of meant for security applications. If you need Zen, you get that there. There's just a ton of different options with this distribution. They've really gone in and just really put in the effort and put in the work to just provide its users with tons of different options and sort of oh, I clicked a link there by mistake, and a lot of Sane defaults. Fantastic distribution, I really think so. So yeah, guys, what do you think of CachyOS? Is there another distribution you guys want me to check out? Let me know in the comment section. But I think this is a great introduction to Linux, great introduction to rolling release, super solid distribution. The folks over at CachyOS did a fantastic job with this distribution, and I look forward to see how this project develops and sort of even more of the improvements they make. And yeah, that's all for now, folks. Great option. Linux distribution here. Really done a fine job on this. And just let me know what you folks think. Thank you.